What if I told you that $100 invested today could be worth $1.7 million by the time you retire? 1941. An 11-year-old boy spends $114 on his first stock. That boy is Warren Buffett. Those $114 become $140 billion. He still lives in the house bought for $31,500 in 1958. Still drives his own car. Still eats McDonald's for breakfast. $3.17 on normal days. $2.95 when the market is down. 99% of his wealth came after his 50th birthday. 97% came after age 65. This wasn't luck. This was a mathematical formula applied consistently for 70 years. Tip 1. Start investing early, even with small amounts. He bought his first stock at age 11. He later said his biggest mistake was starting too late. If he'd started just 5 years earlier, he'd be worth over $300 billion today. Start investing $300 a month at age 25 with 10% returns. $2.4 million by age 25, 65. Start at age 35 with the same $300 a month. Only $950,000. Starting 10 years earlier gives you $1.45 million more, even though you only invested $36,000 extra. Open a brokerage account today. Fidelity, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab. Start with whatever you can. $50, $100, $500 monthly. Set up automatic investments on the first of every month. Never wait for the perfect time. The best time was yesterday. The second best is now. Tip 2. Live below your means and invest the difference. He lives in the same house bought in 1958 for $31,500. Drives his own car, eats McDonald's for breakfast. His annual salary from Berkshire Hathaway is $100,000, unchanged since 1980. If Buffett had bought a $10 million mansion in 1980, that money couldn't have compounded into over $1 billion in his portfolio today. Save an extra $500 a month by cutting unnecessary expenses. Invested at 10% annual return for 30 years. $1.13 million. That daily $7 latte habit, that's $2,555 a year. Invested at 10% for 30 years. $458,000 you're literally drinking away. Track every expense for 30 days using apps like Mint or YNAB. Identify your financial leaks, subscriptions you don't use, dining out too often, impulse purchases. Calculate the compound cost. Ask, what will this cost me in 20 years? Redirect savings automatically to investment accounts before you can spend it. Increase investments with every raise. If you get a 5% raise, invest 3% and enjoy 2%. Tip 3. Invest in low-cost index funds. In his will, Buffett instructed that 90% of his wife's inheritance should be invested in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. He bet $1 million that an S&P 500 index fund would beat hedge funds over 10 years, and won by a landslide. $100,000 invested for 30 years at 10% return. With 0.04% index fund fees, $1,744,940. With 2% hedge fund fees, $811,337. Those 2% annual fees cost you $933,603, nearly 10 times your starting capital. Invest primarily in broad market index funds VOO or SPY, S&P 500, VTI, Total U.S. Stock Market, VT Total World Stock Market. Check your expense ratios. Aim for under 0.2%, ideally under 0.1%. Avoid actively managed funds that charge 1 to 2% annual fees. Use target date retirement funds if you want automatic rebalancing, like Vanguard Target 2055. Buffett once said, "The trick is not to pick the right company. The trick is to essentially buy all the big companies through the S&P 500 and to do it consistently." Tip 4. Never sell during market crashes. Buy more. During the 2008 financial crisis, when everyone was panicking and selling, Buffett invested $5 billion in Goldman Sachs, billions in Bank of America, and more in other companies. Those crisis investments generated returns of 5 to 10 times because he bought when others were terrified. The S&P 500 has recovered from every crash in history. Average bear market lasts 9.6 months. Average bull market lasts 2.7 years. The market has returned 10% annually over the last century, despite crashes, wars, and recessions. Build an emergency fund first, 6 months' expenses in cash, so you never have to sell investments during crashes. Keep investing through crashes. Maintain your automatic monthly investments. Increase investments if possible during major market drops. 20% plus declines. Never check your portfolio daily. Volatility is the price of admission for long-term returns. Buffett also said once that you should be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Tip 5. Reinvest all dividends and returns. Buffett reinvested most of his dividend. Every dollar earned gets reinvested into more businesses, more stocks, more compounding machines. His Coca-Cola investment from 1988 originally cost $1 billion and now generates $700 million annually in dividends. But Berkshire reinvests those dividends, creating compound growth on top of growth. $10,000 invested in S&P 500 at 10% for 30 years with dividend reinvestment. $174,494. The same $10,000 without dividend reinvestment, taking dividends as cash. $97,903. Reinvesting adds $76,591. That's 7.6 times your starting capital from reinvestment alone. Enable automatic dividend reinvestment, DRIP, in your brokerage account. Don't live off investment income until you actually need it in retirement. Reinvest all gains. If you sell one investment at a profit, immediately deploy into another. Think like a business owner. Successful businesses reinvest profits for growth, not distribute everything. Track total return. Measure wealth by portfolio value, not dividends received. Buffett once said, "My wealth has come from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest." 5 strategies, 70 years, $140 billion. Start today.